My wife is the embodiment of an extraordinary woman. She has a remarkable gift for turning the most ordinary things into something truly special. Whether she's preparing a simple salad, spinning a captivating tale that holds her listeners in rapt attention, or designing a fashionable hat, her talents are unmatched. Even Coco Chanel, had she crossed paths with my wife, might have been taken by her originality. Adelina is a perfect blend of intellect and beauty, making her shine in any environment. Her natural charm effortlessly draws people in, be it friends, colleagues, or even the partners of those she meets at social gatherings. She has a unique way of balancing playful banter with sincere kindness, using her sharp mind and sophisticated grace to navigate any situation. She is a woman who consistently achieves her goals, no matter what she sets her mind to. While some might envy my fortune, I only feel an overwhelming sense of pride to have such an exceptional woman by my side. Even her name, Adelina, captures her essence, authentic and brilliant. When we first met, she was an insurance specialist. Over the course of 6 years, her hard work and dedication led her to oversee the company's internal network development, achieving impressive results. Recognizing her abilities, the company promoted her to lead the regional sales department. I often refer to her as her business in an affectionate way, as she excels in every aspect of her life, maintaining an impeccably organized home, nurturing our relationship, and thriving professionally. She handles it all with grace, as if it requires no effort. When her company organized a quarterly meeting, paired with a corporate party, Adelina had no choice but to attend, even though she would have preferred to relax at home. As head of the sales network, her presence was critical. She played a prominent role, managing both formal presentations and informal networking. The event was designed to bring together everyone in the company, from the owner and CEO to the staff and agents. Even though she prepared for it virtually, I could sense the weight of her responsibilities. The day of the event arrived, and Adelina asked me to drive her to the hotel and restaurant complex on the outskirts of the city where the convention was being held. The venue was a luxurious one, with a conference hall for meetings, a banquet hall for celebrations, and hotel rooms for out-of-town attendees. The prestigious insurance company, which she worked for, spared no expense in honoring its top salespeople. As always, Adelina looked stunning. Her ash blonde hair was elegantly styled in an updo that framed her delicate face. She wore a sleek black dress that highlighted her graceful figure, perfectly blending professionalism with allure. Lace-trimmed stockings, stiletto heels, subtle makeup, and a faint hint of her favorite perfume completed her look. When we arrived, the venue was grandly decorated with plush carpets, festive balloon displays, and promotional banners. Soft music played in the background as servers offered appetizers to the arriving guests. Before I left, Adelina gave me her signature, affectionate kiss on the nose and assured me she would arrange her own ride home after the event, which was expected to end by midnight. Midnight passed, and there was no sign of her. The hours dragged on, and although her phone showed the event was still ongoing, an unsettling silence began to settle over me. My mind swirled with questions, but I tried to reassure myself that she was likely just tired and would be home soon. With that thought in mind, I eventually fell into a restless sleep. The sleep that followed was far from peaceful, unaware of the storm quietly brewing beneath the surface. 3 nights later, I was jolted awake, the dim glow of the clock reading just after 4 a.m. The first light of summer's dawn began creeping into the room. I turned toward my wife, noticing she had just disturbed the sheets, slipping back into bed as though nothing out of the ordinary had occurred. While I remained groggy and unsettled, I instinctively reached out to cover her. However, the scene before me left me speechless. There she was, sprawled across the bed. Her purse, phone, and high heels were haphazardly scattered on the floor. One of her stockings had fallen to her knee, while the other was clenched tightly in her hand. Her normally flawless hair was a mess, as if she had just stepped out of a storm. But most shocking of all was the absence of any undergarments beneath her dress, which now exposed far more than it should have. I tried to make sense of the situation, but the complete absence of her undergarments didn't add up. While it's not unusual for small items to go missing, the complete disappearance of everything in such a way left me baffled. For a fleeting moment, I considered confronting her directly, a humorous image of a slapstick scene flashing through my mind. But then, I realized trying to get a clear explanation from her in her current state would be pointless. Determined to uncover the truth, I began retracing her movements like a detective on a case. But within the boundaries of our home, I found no clues, nothing that would shed light on the mystery. Only a framed certificate displayed Adelina's remarkable work ethic and career accomplishments. Despite my best efforts, the events of that night remained clouded in secrecy. Frustrated, I chain-smoked nearly 2 packs of cigarettes and consumed half a can of coffee, my mind running through countless possible scenarios. Each thought led to the same painful conclusion. My wife, Adelina, had betrayed me. Needing answers, I confronted her head-on, but her responses were fragmented and unclear. She complained of a severe headache and claimed to remember little of the evening. Strangely, her inability to recall the details gave me a slight sense of relief. As she sipped her black coffee, the weight of her situation seemed to dawn on her. The very gaps in her memory seemed to deepen her discomfort. Bit by bit, she started recalling fragments of the night. The formal program, the award ceremony, the opening banquet, and even the dance that was announced by the host. She even remembered winning an odd award for something. She also recalled winning a bag contest, where she received a lollipop as a prize, a lollipop that inexplicably later turned up in her underwear. Despite these recollections, an unsettling feeling lingered in the air. Instead of returning home as expected, she arrived back with significant gaps in her memory. For the first time, jealousy and doubt crept into my mind about my once flawless wife. Determined to find the truth, I insisted she call her friend and colleague, Aura, on speakerphone. Though clearly embarrassed, Adelina reluctantly agreed, realizing there was no other option. "Adelina, please don't make me laugh," Aura said with a hint of amusement. "Can't you remember anything?" Aura began to recount the events of the night. During the official part of the evening, Adelina had been tense, keeping a close eye on her team's presentations. She hardly ate and only nursed her champagne. However, when she received an award later in the evening, her mood lifted, providing a rare moment of joy amid all the stress. The atmosphere shifted after the formalities ended. Adelina discovered a new fondness for sambuca at the bar, and with each drink, she loosened up, sharing stories about her life, her work, and a stray dog she had befriended in the office parking lot. She had named the dog Boss and was heartbroken when the company decided to move it to a shelter due to budget cuts. As the evening continued, the crowd began looking for more entertainment, and impromptu activities took place. Adelina, eager to contribute, suggested holding an auction. She offered items from her own wardrobe, with all the proceeds going to build a shelter for Boss. To the rhythm of lively music, she dramatically removed a silk scarf and tossed it into the crowd, sparking both laughter and a bidding war. Although Aura and another colleague ensured Adelina made it home safely, the events left her feeling a sense of lingering embarrassment. The next day, a video of the auction surfaced, and Adelina and I watched it together. Her face turned bright red as she buried her head in her hands. "Oh my God," she groaned. "I can't believe I did that in front of my coworkers, my team, and the management." On one hand, I felt relieved that her reckless behavior, though inappropriate, had come from a sincere desire to help Boss. On the other hand, the fallout was inevitable. "How am I supposed to face everyone at work on Monday?" she muttered. "Should I just resign now and get it over with?" Her anxious thoughts were interrupted by a phone call from her manager. "Adelina," the voice began, "did you forget something last night? There's an offer on the table to purchase your auction items. The proceeds will cover the cost of building the shelter, providing veterinary care, 6 months of food, and even a passport for Boss. We just have one condition." "What condition?" she stammered. "Don't name the dog Boss. The manager replied dryly, and the call ended. The room fell silent. Well, I said, breaking the tension, the goal was achieved. As they say, all's fair in love and war. Adelina managed a faint smile, though the embarrassment still lingered. It seemed she was somewhat comforted by the outcome.